and and it cut out pretty quick. So, but I'll keep going. If it cuts out again, I might. Well, if it cuts out really soon again, I might just start carving, and I'll document it all, and post it. Uh, okay. So right now, I want to create a back opening, but I want to be able to work inside his head to create some cool eyes and place him in from behind. So I'm gonna try to make a hidden opening that allows me some really good access in there. And I've gently marked out where the eyes are going to go. And so right now I want to make this cut that goes into the potato, and I want it to be kind of an arched opening, little door. And then I'll try to remove this piece without fucking making a mess. This will probably take a longer knife. Yeah, I might have to get a longer knife. Well, I could actually make a cut from the other side. I don't want to mess this up here. All right. So this piece I'm going to save. This will be my little, I'll glue it in when I'm done. And I could work on the eyes from back here. This is really dry, hopefully. Well, it doesn't really matter that it's dry. Well, it does kind of for the... All right, so this potato here, you can see it's kind of got a marbled, cheese look. That means it's really dry. And the color is not so good. Now, it doesn't matter at all for his eyes, because I'm going to cut these round circles out here, like 2 circles for the eyes, and I'm going to build his eyeball separately. Not only the eyeball, I'm going to build the eyelids. I'll take pieces of other sweet potato. Let's see, do I have a piece of white? Yeah, what did I do with? What did I do with? Well, take oh, here it is. This is not an eyeball done. I mean, it has a little indent in it, but normally it would be like a carrot and just various color there. But I'm gonna take some sweet potatoes, and make some angry little eyelids for him. And then from the back, I'm gonna insert them into these areas here. Okay. So I don't really need for that. So whatever this is, just really horrible dry sweet potato. Doesn't matter for carving there, but it's inside the mouth that normally it's all the gums that'll be carved, and that kind of is important, very important. And I don't think this potato is going to work. It's a beautiful shape for what I want to do. Maybe, but I'm not going to stop, because it'll look cool even with just the eyes, and then For the mouth, I certainly don't want to insert a different carve. You know, eyes are easy, just round. So I could like make the concave bed for them to sit in with the same tool that I make the actual eyeball. So there's going to be it's easy to build something with very little gaps, you know. But if I go ahead and try to do the same thing for the mouth, I'm gonna need, you know, I don't have like a tool that goes whoop and cuts a mouth in the shape of all the gums and, you know, everything. It doesn't, the dentures, all, it doesn't do that. So there would be a incredible amount of fitting. I'm no woodworker. I don't really, and I know I don't want to even do that. Just so much work. So, but I could just paint something on there or scrape something and making something stupid or just maybe real cool. Or I could just grab another potato and do it on a different potato. The only thing is that this had a great shape to accommodate the mouth style that I was doing. I think I'll do this one. This one's got some. So this thing would be of no use. Well, how could I use it? Let's see. It is cool, but it's kind of on the mouth like this. God, that potato was so much better. The mouth would need to be cut there. This one might be better. Yeah, I think so. We'll do it with this one. So go back to square one. So first I'm going to mark the eyes. Okay, I'm going to use this shape here, same size one, and I'm going to, let's see, put them right about. So I'm just going to press in to establish where they go. And this, and the peel. Now sweet potato is just. I think this might have been a yam, but a sweet potato. The skin of it can be very flaky. Even regular potatoes, but so you don't want. I want to save all that dark skin. Call it rind. A little bit of a gap in between the two. Yeah, I do want a little gap between the two. And then, yes.
Oh, sorry,
Just taping a YouTube live of just making one of these. Where mom's upstairs. Is that? All right. So next I'm gonna carve this back area open. So again, I wanna come into it. This really is gonna go wide. So I'm cutting into the potato this way. And come on this side. And it's just that first, like, oh shit. It's just that first, like maybe a half inch that I'm really worried about. Once I go past that half inch, I'm going to be going in there digging all that material out. I just want to save myself a perfect little hatch door, at least a half inch or so thick. And that's what I'm doing with this knife right now. And going into the back straight, then come across the bottom, making sure it's at least the low enough to reach the eyes, to below the eyes, I mean. And then, so I can go to the top here, take that knife and kind of reach down and release as much of it as I can from the same entry spot, so I don't have to go around this whole thing, or else everything will get messed up. And on this side, oh, that's pretty far. I could probably come in like this. And then let's see, right around here, I'll make. Okay, so this will be my little back door to inside his head. Maybe I'll glue this to. I'll just get a little glue right now. So I use super glue. Works on pumpkins and potatoes just fine. So I don't want this to fall off or lose it, so I'm just gonna glue it right now, and this way it's there. Okay, that's much better, prettier color and healthier looking than the other one. So this piece that I took off of it, I'll just put that in this water. So this is lemon water. You don't really need lemon juice for sweet potatoes. It's not going to brown. But if this was a russet potato, I would, as soon as you carved into it at all, you just want to dip it into the lemon juice mixture, because it'll keep it white, stop it from oxidizing. Definitely going to have to do that later as we do the teeth or the eyeballs as well. All right, so I need to dig out this cavity here, and I don't want to get, I kind of want to stay maybe about quarter of an inch, half inch away from the surface of all in there, And I'm just going to use this melon ball to dig in there because it just scoops it out easy. And this is going to allow for me to place the eyes from the back side, and move them if I want. I could have, yeah, that's just helpful. I haven't, I've done this a few times, but the more times I do it, I'll discover why I should or shouldn't be doing it. You gotta go into those, and not always say, oh, no, I'll do it because this problem or that problem, because sometimes it's just sometimes you first time you try something, there's some problems, and but heck, there might be tons of fucking good reasons that you realize to do it too, going that way. So sometimes I just like to sketch my way forward, be open to things not going perfect. And another word for that is playing. Be playful. You don't like games that you win every time or easy to win. You like those games that challenge you, and sometimes it's difficult to do it. So it's important to keep in that mindset. So I almost started to see, it's important not to for the first half inch or so, if I want this thing to fit in there nicely, I can't start digging close to the walls of the potato and just opening up right away, or else that won't fit. And I thought I did by accident, but I'm okay. Once I go past a 1/2 inch, the thickness of the door, and even this little door piece, like some of this, I could cut that, but I guess I don't need to. It's nothing. I guess I don't need to cut. I guess I'll slow down now and then come to this side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to cut these out. Once I get all the rind cleaned off out of them, then I'm going to think I'm going to go straight, because I'm doing things a little different now. Like I said, I'm doing this differently because normally I would just come on this side, scoop that out so that the eyeball fit in there. And if I wanted the eye to be a little deeper set, I just scoop a little deeper into it. And that's how I solve that. But because I'm going to have eyelids also, the eyelid material, fuck, I guess I could. So I'm just thinking here. If I cut from behind, no, you know what? If I'll cut from this side, and then I'll still have the option to come in on the other side. This way I can move it. Anyway, all right, I'm going to use an X-Acto knife for this, right, this part here, just because it'll keep me a little straighter than the curve. The curve knife is great for when I'm carving, like carving little round contours and stuff like that. But for this really precise straight cut, this straight razor on X-Acto is a little easier. Actually, maybe this might actually. And if you have questions, so I can't really field the questions while I'm doing this. If you have questions, if anyone any questions, just you could put them in the comments instead of on a live feed, and I'll get to it at some point afterwards or whatever. And I'll do this cutting part. So I'm going to try to start doing more of these live videos, or just posting more content in general. But in order to show some of the processes that I'm like really, I think there's like value in me having that camera show like even the discovery process part. Like, not just like, okay, yeah, I've here's something I made and I'm going to make it, after I make it, 50 times or something, I'll let you watch me make it. Obviously I've done this before, but just in general, when I'm open up to those insights, sometimes I just zone out and do my own thing, I'm gonna keep doing that even if the camera's on. So If I get quiet, that's what it is, man. I'm just letting you peek over my shoulder a little. All right. So now for the other ones, I kind of like really carefully scoop those out. And I got to do that anyway, actually. Yeah. And still, even if I wanted to come from the back, I have to do that. So I'm going to cut this a little bit bigger so that when I go in there with that tool, it doesn't accidentally clip the edge of the potato skin, because I really want a clean look there. I kind of want it to be pretty round. All right. So I'm going to take this and carefully scoop it out without, try not to mess up any of the skin. And it's harder than you might think. Okay. And I'll do that to this side as well. Okay. Yeah. So I don't think I'm gonna need that side at all for anything. We'll see. If I'm able to cut the eyelids thin enough, which I want anyway, then this side is going this side in from this side will be perfect. But if as I do the eyelids, I realize it's harder than it's like you'll understand what I'm talking about. Like I'm gonna basically make perfect fitting lids with the sweet potato. And if they fit in here nicely, then that's all I need. If not, then I'm gonna have to cut from the back side and see if I could get it to fit better from there. But I won't know that until after I make the eyes and stick them in. So now I'm going, obviously I already took a piece out, but I need to make sure that it's deep enough because I don't want the eyes to be all buggy, and they should be like inside there some. And that might be one of the reasons I end up coming from behind on the other side. We'll see. A little deeper. Okay. So, now I'm gonna grab some russet potato, and create the eyeballs for that. So after I cut these, so I'm just gonna use the same size scooper that I created those holes with to grab the russet. And then after I scoop it out, I'm gonna dip it in this water here, which is lemon juice and water. I don't really have a mixture. Just make sure you just put some squirts of that lemon juice in there, and that's enough. And then every once in a while, I'll just a few drops of lemon juice straight onto the potato if I want. Anyway, so I'm just gonna like press it in there, and then nice, clean, smooth scoop. Pull it out. Put it in here, and there's the whites of the eyes. Let's see. It's smooth because of that. This like wet potato is really smooth, so it's hard to handle. So as it pushed, that pushed in. But you see, I say it's like so like bug eye. I don't want it to be like that. So I'm gonna have to eventually go in deeper with this. I also gotta get this fucking thing out. There you go. All right, so let me cut both. Let me get two of them made first. Let's see. That's like guaranteed. A couple of drops on there, but then also have water with some in it. So these got to go deeper. All right. Should I come from the other side? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Let's try that. So I'm going to just do everything kind of neat. I guess got this I don't know, it's like curtain rod tubing. Usually I would use this for like pumpkin carve. If I'm doing a big pumpkin and I want to create irises, I might have a tool like this. It's gotten bent. I would have to fix that before I brought it to a pumpkin. But anyway, this just lets me core this. I have better ones, but this I don't need it for that right now, so I'll just use this, even though it's bent. Just allows for me to see where I'm at when I come in the other side. Now I can see the thickness and everything, and I know that I'm safely, within the area. So that's all that served for. Plus, now I come from this side with this melon ball scooper, and as I see steel going through here, I'll be able to tell. I'll just pretend is that where I want the whites of the eye. If I want it further, then it'll kind of bring me almost to paper thin here. I think this is the way to do it. Only because this gets. I messed it up a little here. This can get really difficult to preserve if I keep cutting from this side and digging deeper with this. And again, yeah, I'm gonna try this way. I could toothpick and glue all whatever I gotta do that on this side, so it's fine. And we'll see. So I'm definitely going to have to, yeah. Okay, it works good. And then after I'll have like, yeah, this works perfect actually. I'll have stuff like, where's this eyelid? I sketched an eyelid earlier today. I'll have something like this. This is not it, but this will work to demonstrate. Keep your scissors. I'll have something like this. And it'll look cooler and more dramatic when I have the little pupils there, so I have like a little attitude. I could even do top and bottom. Maybe I'll do some bottom ones too. Yeah, that'll look cool. And I don't think I'm gonna like carve a whole bunch of detail. I may. No, I'm not gonna carve. What I might do is come in and cut a sliver. I'll, I'll see if I'll do it right now. I mean, I'm not gonna do it right now because that's not even the eyelid. But I'm just discovering a game plan as I go sketching, and that's gonna be thrown away, and I'm gonna use a better piece. But I'm just trying to figure out how I want to design this guy. So one thing I could do is carefully glue on a little rib there. If this were butternut squash, it'd be so easy to do it exactly how I want, because I would take a small round tube and pull like a tubing of the material and then glue it there. But this sweet potato is much drier, so if you were to carve something so small and so thin and try to bend it or do anything with it, even just remove a thin piece, it sometimes wants to crack. Whereas material like a butternut squash has a better threshold for that. So I don't know. I was thinking about maybe having just a couple little nice graphic lines. I could do that with a knife, but that's the look I'm going to go for. So I don't. Well, yeah, keep the eyes in there. I'm going to do the other side. Just got to be really careful with preserving that bridge in between the two. So those two eyes should fit in here. One. Obviously, I don't have anything on. No iris or pupil, but just checking the. Now it's real loose. I can probably push this all the way through, but again, this doesn't have the eyelids on it. Once I put the eyelids, I might have to go in there and widen up the space a little bit. And I could push these back some. If I push them back right now, they fall a little. But once I get it situated where I want, I'll be able to go in there. I got plenty of working room, and I'll be able to go in there and hold it up with like toothpicks or super glue or whatever I need. Then I got this big space here. Oh, shoot. The mouth is going to have to go. Now, normally, I might be able to. I'm just thinking I might have taken away, in order to get the some shadows of the grin going really tall. I would love for the grin to come right up here. This side I definitely have room. this side it is going to be difficult, motherfucker. This is so thin, all this. So, right now, as I feel through here, mouth go there. I can do it very asymmetrical if I want. Maybe stick a tongue coming out here along. Or could have a tongue coming here and covering all that, so you know, so you can't really, so you think that the mouth continues the same way. That could work. Like he's licking this upside of his face here, like. Let me think. What do I want? And this will go here. Where did I go? Let's see. So like I said before, if you're gonna watch this live video, I'm just gonna do my thing. So right now, a lot of times I will sit and go off track. Like I'm not trying to put those eyes in so you could see it, like, you know, and look, sometimes I do that for myself. So like when I'm working on something, I like to spend the time to make the whole process magical for me, or not that, you know, just fun, you know, like uh, so I'm not permanently putting his eyes there. I just kind of want to see how it is to um, to have it somewhat in place while I work on and think things out through. So now, as I'm doing this, I could really begin to think how I want to solve this. I know that this, ideally, I would like to be able to cut in his mouth here. I know I could do it on this side. This side I definitely can't. Like it is too thin throughout here. And I kind of, you know, again, this is something, I thought of it when as I was doing stuff. I'm like, oh no, that's much enough room. But when I looked at the side here, I'm like, damn, his eye is pretty, this potato doesn't really flare out like it does over here. It's kind of flat here. So I could put a tongue there. That's one solution. Like he's licking up on his mouth. That means the tongue comes up from way down here. Because his mouth will be open, so it's not like you're just gonna, the tongue originates on the roof, on the floor of his mouth. And it'll come up. It's a lot of fucking work. I don't know if I want, or do I want an asymmetry? So if I have up here, you know, I think we'll do a tongue. I'll try to, yeah, I'll do a tongue. All right, so I'm not going to do the mouth now, but I just wanted to, as I realized how thin this was over here, I wanted to at least have an idea of where I was going to go. Now I'm going to start making some of these eyes. Finish these eyeballs off. All right. So I need to make some eyelids for this guy. My options are, like I could take the skin from sweet potato and make them, like I said, or I could even pull them out of this butternut squash. But I think the sweet potato is going to look a little better. Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, it's not much of a difference, but I just think the sweet potato will be bolder. So I'll pull them from. So I need a. This one's no good. This is a dry one. So I can pull it from here. This was a pretty good potato, but let's see how the inside of this is. Because what I want to do is I want to use whichever meat is like the freshest. So this is a lighter color for sure. Bigger. Yeah, so I'm going to use this one. All right, what I'm going to do first is since this russet potato was carved out of this side, right? I'm gonna carve into this sweet potato and remove that shape. Then I'm going to go in with a slightly bigger scooper and kind of cradle that and try to scoop out a thin shell that this will fit into, okay? And then I'm also going to have, I'm gonna need one of these as just like a test, like a test one. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this inside here. And as first of all, when I feel this, it's a little bit thick on the top part. But let's just see how it works though. You know what? It's a little thick, too thick. So I dug in that second one just a little more than I wanted to. I think I'm gonna want to go a little softer. So first thing is I pull that out, right? Then I said cradle it and try to get a thin skin of. I didn't get enough that time. Fucker. Okay, now I need to go with the bigger size. And it's just slightly bigger. And this gives me, this one's a little better, all right? Like a shell that this will fit into, okay? And it's not perfect, it's not centered. You can see it's thicker on this side and actually disappears on this side. But I just need it to grab one eyelid, like top or bottom eyelid. And I'll do this process again to grab the other eyelid. So what I'm going to do is cut out. Where did the other knife go? So I have this potato behind here because I want it there so I could see and cut out this shape. And cutting through, I'm going to cut into this potato. So this won't be my finished eye. I don't want to use an eyeball that has a bunch of cuts in it. finished eyes in there, and I'm gonna create that in a little bit. Right now, I'm just making the eyelids. So this is just that's a placeholder there. All right, so it gives me like a perfect little eyelid there, and I'm gonna do that for both sides. You can see, let's see how it translates. I might have to go in here. I know I'm gonna have to go in here and open this up a little. So let's do that. So I need to use. So when I went in there before, I was using this. I was using the melon ball scooper that was the size of the eyeball. Now that I have eyelids, it's gonna be bigger. So I can just go to this bigger one and make sure. I don't really want to go to that bigger. It's so fragile. I'd rather just use the smaller one and go around and scrape because I'll be able to push this into it. So it's a little safer doing it like this. And then, like I said before, I think I'm going to do a top and bottom eyelids. You can see it's starting to go in there a little better. And it'll fit much better with the bottom eyelid. You can see, let's jump out of there. Yeah, it's a little too angled, but anyway, you can see the effect. And when his eyes, when I put in the eye, the iris and pupil, it'll look really cool. So let's make another eyelid. All right, so I'm gonna keep that in border because I don't want it to get all dried up. I got so much shit here. Where do I? Okay, let's see. All right, so again, I use a slightly small, and I don't even know what size. You just want to use like the size that I'm making this is irrelevant. You can do this bigger or smaller, but to do this process, you just need two melon balls, scoopers that are not the same. Like one's a little bit bigger than the other, it's a little smaller than the other. All right, so use the small one first. And the small one is always going to reflect the size of the eyeball that you ended up using. Okay, and after you get that small one out, then you're going to take this big one, again, try to straddle it and scoop out a thin wall, thin shell. That'll work. And then I'm going to take, you have, is this the right one? You want to take a piece of potato, that's that melon ball size, put it behind it, and you'll use this to cut the other eyelid. So this eyelid is kind of real thin. So there, I think I need to either, what I'll do is I'll just open it up a little more because this is way more than I need anyway, because if I used all of this and all of the other, I'd have closed eyes. So between this and this, I can make, I might need to go in there again and, I have another one here. Make sure I'm using all the best ones. I think these two work better. So at this point, everything's all wet in my hand, so it's hard to hold in position. I think it's upside down. It's a sphere, but the eyeball is not upside down. But I think I have the eyelid that would work best. The heavier eyelid. Well, I guess it depends on the expression. Let's try it like that. So I definitely need to take a little off of here. So this is too thick, this one. So what I'm gonna do is, it's such a smooth, perfect scoop when you use these. Like I can go here and I could take my knife and I could just, shave it down and then sand it. But I'm gonna try to scoop it again because when it has that machined sort of melon baller scoop feel to it, it looks better, and I don't want to sit and try to copy that when I could spend less time making a whole shitload. Now, if I run out of scooping areas, then I'll have to. But until then, I'm gonna try to get myself the perfect lid. And this one might work. Oh, let's see, it's a maybe too. It's a definite no. This is a good one. All right, this one will work. I gotta step on the light. Okay, so a little dry, but I think it'll work. So we have that. All right, this is a little dry, that one I just cut. It's perfect thickness and everything, but it's already cracking a little right there. If I cut it back and see how it holds up the cracks. So I'm just gonna trim the edge. a hard time getting it straight across here. There. Okay. I keep losing all my pieces. All right. I'm putting things down and everything's looking the fucking same. I thought I had better. Is this it? Yeah, so this will work. Problem is, gotta be in a thin. In order to get everything in there tight and to hide like gaps and stuff, it's like I gotta have. Well, maybe if I just cut in the corner here, it's gotta be like everything's gotta be like precision. And it's in these corners here where they meet that I'm having a problem, but I think I might have just solved it by going. Like I want to fit this now. I don't want to be messing with this with super glue or anything. Like I'll when I realize that it fits good, then I'll carve the rest of the eyeball and then super glue these lids into place so nothing will move. But it'll be fun having him have a nice squinted eye. Yeah, that'll look good. I can't really see this here. So he'll have, I mean, this is just roughly placed, but it'll look so much better when the iris and pupil are in there. All right, so that's one. I'm gonna put that on this side in that order. Now I gotta do eyelids for the other one. I think what I'll do is I'll get the eyes done tonight and then restart this stream tomorrow for the mouth. Definitely not good. Okay, another one. And I've tried it both ways, like carving the full thing out and holding it and trying to carve the thing into it. But I think this actually works the best for me, at least. All right, so on this one, kind of keep. I just realized in that last one, it's okay to trim the corners if I need it. That's the place where it really matters. And then I could sand that. To sand stuff, I use this either green Scotch-Brite pads, especially for like pumpkins and stuff. But recently on this this elephant and this wax sculpture, I use these sanding sponges, little fine sanding sponges that I usually use in wax work and stuff like that. So they work really good on this. So I just made a cut with the knife, and I want to blend it into that nice scooped machined feel that it had. All right, so I got one eyelid there. And one more, let's see. No, it's not, I can't do it there. Unless I carve some stuff away again. Okay, plus that just allowed me to see where the best areas were. So right here seems to be a really good area. So again, I'll just scoop with a smaller one. Oh, that was a good one. All right, so place that into that little shell. Make sure I don't lose one I just made. And then come and scoop some of it. Do some stop motion with this too. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so I know that'll work. I'll make the rest work in there when I get to that spot. But now I'm gonna create the eyeballs. So I'm gonna use, for those, I'm gonna use these two that I had. I'm not gonna use this one I've been cutting through. That was just to measure those. These are already cut. Let's see. And so I have, to make the eyeballs, I have these like tubes. I have a set of 3 tubes here. Where's the third one? I have a whole bunch of tubes actually, but and tubes allow for me to core in the same way I had all those different melon ballers for making the spheres. I also have different tubes. Okay. So here are a set of 3 copper tubes or brass tubes. And they each have different diameter ends to them, and they're also open, which I like. You know, so I also make some of these. Just go buy brass tubing if you have brass tubing, you want to make some. Just get brass tubing. You just need to core something out. The advantages of these here, and I bought these at a local pottery shop. The advantages of these are that first, the double, it's different sizes. So there's 6 different sizes within the same 3 tools, and they also are only on the ends. They're just half cuts, and what's great about that is not only does it allow for you to like pull out, or if you need to, like, if a piece, like just a second ago, was a piece stuck in one of these and I pulled it out with a tool. Not only does it allow for you to do that, it also, when you're doing we don't need it for this application, but if you were doing like say a pumpkin carving or even a potato carving where you weren't adding eyelids onto it, but you wanted the eyelids to overlap the iris and pupil, well, if you weren't adding the eyelids on, you would need to carve that eye out in a semicircle too, like you don't want to go all the way around, or you'd be cutting into, like if you wanted that overlap of the eyelid over the pupil and stuff, you would need to make sure that you carve a semicircle shape and dig that out. And this allows for you to do that because it allows for you to like to poke into the pumpkin and get a nice clean edge and then pull some of the material out. So that's why one of the reasons I like having just half edges. And you could, if you're gonna make your own brass tubing, and nothing stopping you from grinding the tube and making it half like these. But anyway, I definitely use tubes when I'm making eyes like this. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is say, okay, what size iris do I want for this eye? If I'm going to use this set, wait, these are the same size right here. There's another one that's bigger, and it is, yeah, these two here are the same size, but I have another one. But you know what? I don't think I want it bigger than that anyway, though. Oh, I think it may be a little bigger. All right, where is that other one? Here we go. All right, so this one's bigger. All right, so I think I want the iris. So we're looking for the size of the iris right now. I guess it would be useful to have the eyelids on so I could imagine it a little better. Yeah, it's definitely too big, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to go with this size. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, like, I'm not just going to go here right in the center. I could go right in the center of the eye if this were a total sphere. But because it's not and the half of it's cut, I know that this has to go into this facing outward like this. And if I want his eye to be kind of angry and looking down, if I want it over here, then I need to come in from over here in that area, you know? Whereas if this were a full round sphere, I could just, what I would normally do is go right into the middle and go straight, and then, you know, you can position it however you want. Actually, you couldn't do that, or you wouldn't want to do that, because even though this is going to be down looking this way, we don't want to come up this from this angle all the way, because it's not going to give the illusion when you're taking photos of this thing as being correct. You're going to see some of the illusion of the eye from an angle. Now I only have this tiny eye that I did earlier, but it's most effective to look at when the highlight is going straight at you. As things go to the side like this, you can see how it doesn't read as well. So if you want the eye to be in that sort of, 7 or 8 o'clock orientation within the sphere, then you can go there, but you don't want to cut in that way. You want to still come straight in and out with it, or at least cheat it, like, split the difference or something like that. So anyway, that's just, it helps with when you're taking your final photos and have when you're going to be looking at the sculpture and you want to be a distinct area that when you look at it from this angle, everything reads well, then you need to come at that potato in that angle. So with that being said, I'm going to come in like this and carefully I'm just scoring it, and then I want to get a nice clean coring of the whole straight all the way through. Okay, we'll pull that out. All right. And now we need to, I'll dip that in lemon juice real quick. Now we need to grab a piece of carrot that'll fit in there perfect. Okay, so I have a bag of baby carrots right here. And this is so small that, you know, sometimes you, like with pumpkins, the size of that iris is perfect for baby carrots. Like I don't even have to do anything. I'll just go through this bag and find one that'll fit in there and just kind of plug it in there. But because that's so small, none of these carrots really fit in there perfect. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'll take my knife and I'm just gonna kind of go around and try to create perfect cylinder that's slightly tapered, that'll plug right into that hole. And you want it to be slightly tapered so that the pushing in, you know, when we push it into there, it fits so snug. So you don't have to glue it or anything. Now, if I took this same tool that I made that hole with and cored this carrot, it'll be the thickness of this wall, the wall of this tubing. That gap wouldn't be accounted for, so it'll be a little loose in there. So that's why we want to kind of create a piece that'll fit in there on its own. Like I said, normally when you're doing pupils for a pumpkin, it'll be a little bigger in scale. That most bags of baby carrots will have plenty of carrots that are perfect shape just to stuff in there as is. All right, we'll try this first. And yeah, this will be perfect. All right, so I usually go from this side, from the outside in, if it's tapered, so that it's really tight on this leading edge. Whereas if we went this way with it, then being that this is cored at a consistent diameter, if we went this way with it, this side is going to be a little bit of wiggle and gap, and the other, and then the inside of the eye would be tight. We need this outside of the eye where we're going to be viewing it to be tight. So you want to come in from here and push it in so it's snug. You don't want to push it in so much that you start cracking the potato, but make sure it's kind of nice and snug. Okay, and then you take a knife. Well, first I'll just cut up. So you're gonna take the knife here, and we're gonna really finesse, carefully cut so that it's right on the plane of the potato. Okay. All right. Next step is going to be to give this carrot, a concave shape to it. So I have a small melon baller. It should get us started all right, I think. Gonna gently wiggle on it, and I also have some small little loop tools I could use. You could even use a knife a little. But we want this to be concave there. So I'm gonna grab my small loop. Where is it? And I'm gonna kind of just cut there. I'll maybe use a knife here too. Normally I'd take that little tiny melon ball, it would work just perfect, but I'll come back to it. But it's like the size here is even smaller than this melon baller, so it doesn't really, can't use this as aggressive as I'd like to. So I need to use, I have a small little round loop tool, and that'll actually work best. Okay. So, or once it was round, and now it's oval, which is actually perfect. A little deeper. All right. So I also I pulled it through on this side a little further so that it all kind of just went into the surface of this. Just a little hair in there, right? And it creates nice shadow there. All right, so the next thing is the pupil, right? So I'm gonna grab a tube that I think this size would be best for the pupil here. Maybe this. No, I'm gonna go a little smaller. If I had a tube in between these two sizes, I'd probably use that, but I think this will work best. So with this, I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna try to core the center. I'm not gonna core all the way through, but I'm gonna bury this tool pretty far back in there so it's nice and dark. And I'm gonna twist it, but make sure that it's centered. And then I'll take an X-Acto knife and we'll release that piece. But let's make sure we're going at the same angle. And okay. And then I'll take a knife and I'm just gonna make a little slice through the center. I'm not gonna cut that whole piece off, just a little through the center, and hopefully that little slice cuts through and releases what we just did. It And you can see I took this out a little. I want to make sure I don't rotate it. If I do rotate it, when I push it back in, I got to make sure it's aligned, because this is cut at, remember, it was at an angle. So, I mean, it was flush to this sphere, but if I spun it, it wouldn't fit. So I'm going to go in and that should release there. And I'll push this thing back into there. All right. So far we have this. Now we need to make a little highlight for that. I don't know. Let's see if we want to highlight. You know, you don't always need a highlight. Sometimes you don't. No, yeah, we do need a nice white little highlight. For sure we need one. Yeah, let's get a highlight first. All right. So I'm gonna use this. This is the smallest of the set. I do have some little smaller tubes that I just made that are even smaller, but I don't think I need. Well, let's see. Maybe I want one that's small. So we need a russet potato to pull this stuff from. Oh, here's one already. So let's see if I. So this. Oh, there we go. Now this is all round. Now it's so long that it's extremely flimsy, but if we cut a piece of it off, this actually might be perfect. And we'll test it out. We don't even have to glue it, just the moisture should hold it. I mean, eventually I have to glue it, but you can see that works perfect, that size actually. So that was just like, this is a small piece of copper tubing that I bought at the hardware store. And I just sanded the edge of it to a point. And then I also had a little nail, because after sanding, sometimes it was a little back and forth on fixing that edge. And I just used a little nail. I just used a little nail here, and put that there. I just saw a question. How could I find the question here? I haven't seen. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. I'm in Japan. I like your art. Thank you so much. Never been to Japan. I would like to go to Japan. I have a good friend that's lived out there for many years. Where'd they go? Okay. Hello, Ember. Outrageous Pumpkins. You know, I'm not. I'm not part of Outrageous Pumpkins this season, so I don't know. Kind of. Yeah. I don't know when. Pretty sure it is happening, but I'm not sure of any dates or anything like that. Okay, so anyway, I made this tube. I made this highlight thing out of a little tube, and I think that's actually a better size right there. Let's see if I go in here. So that's not glued in. And normally when I glue that in, I'll show you. Let's take that out, and we'll still use that piece. Take it out. I'm gonna glue it, but instead of just gluing it right where it was, I'm gonna I want to create a little perfect nook for it to kind of rest up against, so it's overlapping both the pupil and the iris part. I think I'm gonna do that. Let's see if this will work. Here's the eye. Let's get this okay. So I just want to scrape a little groove for it. That's enough. Now I need to. It's gonna be a hard part because the super glue I have right now is horrible. It's too thick. It's old. I prefer if I was using Gorilla Glue for a while, but recently switched over to Loctite super glue, which seemed a little thinner. I mean, you could buy stuff to thin the viscosity, but I don't have any of that right now, so I have to use this thick super glue. I just need a little dab of it, and I'm going to. Where's the knife? So, I'm gonna put a little bit on the side there. Come over to my eye. And glue that in there. You fucker. Damn it. That did not glue well. Let's grab another piece. Oh, the rest of it's right here. Oh, I didn't, you know what? Glad I didn't use that anyway. I never dipped that in lemon juice. It would have been brown in no time. So, I'll grab another. So I just take this little tube here, run it through, pull it out, and then blow it through, hopefully. If I can't blow it through, which I can't, I have some wire that's thin enough to run through there. And I could maybe push it through there. And, well, it's destroying it. I've destroyed that piece. I'm gonna get another one. Doesn't look like I destroyed it, but maybe I didn't. All right, I'm gonna put some lemon juice on this thing real quick. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut a small section of it. And then I need to glue on it. God, this glue's so thick. I might have better glue. All of them. Maybe this one's better. Okay. Where's the one I just made? So that highlight sticks way out. I don't want it to stick out that much, but see how much whiter it is because it sticks out. So I got to trim it, but I'm going to trim it just above the plane of the sphere and pull it out in the same fucking move. All right, let's try to put that back in. That's not gonna come out. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna trim that. All right, so this is what we got. Let's see. Move the light a little. And if I want that, I could make the pupil part even darker by going deeper. But actually, I could just pack it in. I have a stick here. Let's see. All right, so I just it's dark enough. All right. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. And I could actually pull this orange eye further in there. There we go. And then this will have, next I need to glue. I need to figure out the orientation that I want for his eyelids. I think something like that, where he's slightly looking down. All right, so I'm gonna glue those on. I'll make this. So let me go back. I want it to overlap a little. You don't want to use too much super glue because the super glue, when it dries, will get like white and crusty. Luckily, like I could see some of the crust coming. I mean, some of the wet super glue showing here. If you catch it when it's early, it's kind of like gummy, and you could kind of peel it off. There. Okay. And then, what did I do? Did I put the other one back in here? Maybe like that. Yeah. All right. Now the other one. I might have lost one of them, taking it out by accident. Okay. Okay. Just holding that super glue down because on this corner here, the potato is wanting to lift because it was a little thicker and it's changing the. So we got a carrot iris, russet, whites of the eyes and highlight, and sweet potato eyelids. And I might have to trim a little bit of that down or trim the inside of this this potato that it's going into. Let's see. Rotate clockwise a little. I think you could use a top eyelash, like a darker line across. The rind, or earlier I was talking about getting a little ribbing and putting it there. Not ribbing of the material. I don't know if that's gonna work though. Let's see. So I need a small loop for that. I could use let's see. So what I would have to do is like this material doesn't bend well. So if I want to try and create a little bit of a heavier edge there, then I need to find a piece of the material to work with and carve it at an angle already a little bit. Do something like that. And then we'll try to see if we could drag the tool through there. And then it'll give me see if I the only thing is if I glue that, it's so thin there that this thick fucking glue that I have it's probably gonna show everywhere and it'll be white, and that's kind of defeats the purpose of why I'm even doing this. I want it to be dark. I don't even know if that's dark enough. See, a little bit of a problem I have is that I made this top eyelid so thin that it's not casting a nice shadow over the whites. So I need another piece there. So I'm gonna mess around with some stuff till I get it. I could use some of the stuff that that's what I'll probably do is I'll use some of the eyelid material that I have from all that testing, and maybe that'll actually be perfect. Use my white here to hold it. This one is too thick. Hold on. Fucker. This works perfect. So that works perfect. I just gotta glue it in there perfectly, and that'll be the hard part. So you see, that looks better. And this will look really cool when it's got his mouth, all his teeth and stuff. Actually, I gotta arrange. I orientate this eye a little. Yeah, trying to get, like when you want to get the carvings nice and clean and crisp, you got to be patient. It's almost like almost like rock balancing, like steady hands and I haven't even glued this yet. I'm just trying to. So what I'll probably do is when I get to gluing the eye in, I'll rotate it slightly. Clockwise, I think. And I'm also going to have to cut. See all that stuff here? It's going to be in the way of this eye coming in. This was part of the problems that I knew that I needed to work through. Sorry, I'm all on that line, but anyway. I think I'm gonna glue the eyeball into place first, and then glue this eyelash piece on. Somewhere like that. Actually, be great not to glue anything if I could just toothpick it all. I think this is pretty thin here. I wonder if I use this stuff here. What kind of hole it leaves. Actually, it just looks like a little. No, I could probably put one through it. That'll help a lot. This is really thin, like wire, steel wire I have. I wanted. Sam, if I put this steel through, it's not good if I'm gonna pickle this with it though. But boy, you know what? I guess I want to. See, toothpick is just so thick to go through this way. And I can go on the inside and do some stuff. And we'll do some stuff. Let's see. So where's my hemostats? Where the heck? I guess I'll just use these big ones. You know, I'm going to use that steel because it's so tight in there, and I'm not really. I think it'll be fine. I'm going to go down into here, through the eyeball. And I leave them down into here. As I'm carving the mouth, if I hit this thing, I could just pull it out, push it up. So I need to cut this there. So I only have one in there, so I could still pivot it. So I'm going to cut this. Fucker. Oh, I need bigger cutters. And then I'm going to push this through more. I'll use the toothpick actually. All right, now for the other, in order to get that other eye in there, I'm going to have to cut away at this eye. And that's not the only problem. When I go to put the other eye in, it's going to be full round. So it's going to be, even if I cut away on this, it's still going to hit some of this. So I'll have to trim some of the other eye. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I like I said in the beginning. And then there's a little bit of a gap there. You could see, you could see my finger right there. Just minor stuff, but you won't see that gap as much when that gets filled in with the other eye. But yeah. All right, now we do need to glue. I need to glue that eyelash on there, and that'll really make that pop better. So, I don't want any glue to show on this. It's going to be extremely difficult, but I think I'll apply it with, I think I'll pour this onto something and use a toothpick and dab thin line. Let's grab anything. So. Fast so this doesn't dry. Okay. One eye done. So imagine him with similar eyes, so they're symmetrical. And then after that, we'll do a big grin, way up all around, mouth open, lots of sharp teeth, and we'll have a tongue going over here, because I need to put a tongue here because I don't have the wall here, and this potato is too thin, where I won't be able to cut into the mouth, because I hollowed out too much on the inside. So I'll be able to get that mouth up here, the corners of it, open up the whole mouth on the inside, but here I'll have to pretend it's going. It's an illusion with the tongue going over it. All right. I'm definitely only doing the eyes tonight. I hope that little steel wire doesn't like kind of spread and discolor the potato throughout the night. If it does, I'll pop that fucking thing out and do it again. All right. The other eye. Okay, so what do we got here? Yeah, I imagine sometimes my fingers and hands get all stuck together as well. Let me go back and see what we got going on here. You have shells. Well, it means you have water, which is awesome. And awesome driftwood, yes. I love that type of stuff, Ember. Yeah, it's it's very much a process. I'm not. I've learned to be very kind of I don't know, organized and structured when I try to make some of these eyes. This is more procedural type stuff. Um, where it's not like necessary sculpting, and I'm usually not very tidy with this sort of work, but I am for this. Okay, so I believe I have. Oh, I got the eye inside the eye. All right, what sizes did I use? I think I used this one, or where's the bigger one? I got a mess going on here. No, I used this. Yeah. All right, so we'll want to come in. Remember, I'm going at an angle here so that when this piece comes out, when we build the eye and put it in there, hopefully everything lines up all right so that you could see. Why isn't this popping out? When we put it in there, hopefully it all works out. I might as well cut and take a knife and cut that a little. Where's the knife? So I cut the whole end of the pupil piece fell out. So it's like it's all the way through. It's dark back there, so it's why it still looks like nothing happened. But if I hold it up against to, oh, a second. See, now you can see light through there. So all I need to do is cap it off with something. So I could just take carrot like this, throw some glue on there, and cover that. I don't need it to be this big. I cut my finger. Damn it, a little. Let's throw some super glue on there. Hold on. Okay. All right, I'm fine. Just a little cut. Just a little cut on my tip of my finger. All right. I gotta cap that off. I'm joking now. I forgot where I put my. Where did I put the other? I guess I can cut another piece of carrot. It'd be really funny if I cut myself again right now. Take this band-aid off a little bit. It's just like a little paper cut type thing. All right, so glue this and cover this hole here. It's not a lot of room in here. It's like the left eye and right eyeball compete. And in order to get this looking nice, you need to it's gotta fit together good. All right. So here's the other eye. So there's no eyelid on it right now, but we'll see how. I'm gonna need it to go somewhere like this. I don't have eyelids too, obviously. Wait a second. This might not work. This one might not work. I didn't put it low enough. Like I can't. There's only so much I can rotate this. Let's see. Maybe it will work. That might work. Once I put the eyelids, well, once I put everything on there. Oh, I guess gotta push this back too. So next step for this eye is to get the carrot part in it. So remember that for that, we're just gonna have to find a small carrot and shave it down to a little spear that'll fit in there. So that should be good. Let's see. So you wanna go in from the front. Actually, it's not. It's too oval. Too small. Do that again. And so it's a little too much still, a little bit more off. So you want it to go in there, fit snug. All right, and then you want to cut the excess carrot off. So first I used to do a rough cut so I could see, and then cut the carrot flush up to the potato. And then we want to concave that in some. So just what do I use? Where is that little round loop tool? Usually I use this small melon baller, but this is a little bit too big, slightly too big. I mean too small. But I have just a little round loop here, and I'm just going to dig carefully and make a concave shape so it casts some shadows in there. I'm gonna push this whole piece of carrot into the potato a little bit more in a little bit. But before I do that, I want to, create the pupil. This carrot's pretty short, so what I'm probably gonna do is do what I did. I'm gonna probably core this whole thing, and then just super glue a little cap on the end so that no light goes all the way through. So, what did I use to core that with? So I want them to be the same size. So I believe I used. I think this is too small. Not sure what I used. Maybe I did use this size. Doesn't seem familiar though. Push it back a little now. This just seems too. This side here seems a little bit big. Well, I'll go small. If it's not the small one, I could maybe recore it with the bigger one without messing it up, maybe, hopefully. I think that's what we'll have to try. So I'll do the small one to see if that looks right. No, definitely the bigger one. That's smaller. Okay. Now, cut all the way through there. And I want it to be dark, so I need to like cap that with something so no light comes through. So I'm just gonna cut this flat because it'll make something stick easier. I could take anything here and glue it onto the edge, to the end. Okay, and now I need to get the highlight on there. I'm not sure if this eye is gonna work until after I. And the reason I'm not sure it's gonna work, like that's an okay looking eye. It's not so much the eye, it's the angle in which I cored all this, because I want to make sure that at the end of the day, when I set this little finished potato up, it's looking, both eyes are looking at the same spot, and they're not like the the alignment of them is not off. I think that'll work. All right, so now I need to do a highlight piece. So for the highlight, I just use this little metal copper or brass piping that's hollow. Grab a potato, pull it through, pull this piece out, dip it in lemon juice so it doesn't oxidate. And I'm actually going to scrape away where I want that. So I'm just making a little tiny groove where I would like to have the highlight. Now, technically, like eyes, like a highlight on the eye. Now you see, look at this highlight on this eye here. It's all the way to the. If you look at the whole eyeball, it's like toward 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock or something like that. So technically, the highlight on this eye should be somewhere over here and not even aligned with the colored part of the eye. But graphically, it just not doesn't look like good visually like that for this thing. So what I'm going to do is, matter of fact, it would be on this side too, but I'm going to put it so that it mirrors the symmetry of this, and I'm gonna cheat it onto the inner wall, just so it's symmetrical. And again, that's not how it would actually work, but actually potatoes wouldn't have eyes either. So I'm just gently scraping just a little groove so it sits tight up against there. I don't want it to obstruct the pupil too much. Okay, then I'm going to, I'm going to cut a piece of this for me to use to. Maybe I'm not going to use that. All right, so I got to glue this in there. Like, I guess I could probably put it right on. Shit. There's a little bit more glue than I want on there because I don't want it to. Okay. Now it's longer. I don't need it that long. I don't want it that long, so I'm going to trim that. I'm just waiting for it to dry. The longer it is, the more of a highlight effect it ends up creating. But at the cost of, side angle or whatever. All right. So cut that off. And the little, when I cut that off, I try to cut it off so that it still breaks the edge of, it goes a little further out than than the eyeball. This way, this is not shading it at all. It'll pick up some highlights good. So what I'll do is usually I put my thumb under there so I can cut it again. And another little thing you can do is when you make that cut, sometimes if you cut it at an angle, so that the plane of your cut is facing upwards towards where the light would be hitting it. Okay, then it'll be even brighter. All right. So if this is the orientation of the eye, somewhere like that, then I want to cut something like that. And then also there's some stuff in there when I get out. Fucker. All right, where is? You gotta clean it up in there a little. like that. Okay, next thing is the eyelids. This is the part that's a little tricky. Because it's not like I could just throw these eyeballs, like the eyeballs need to, I don't want a wandering eye. And it's like all the stuff needs to be like glued together before you could fine tune anything. Can't really do much. I guess I could. Well, fuck, it's not. All right, I think like that for this. Probably should have waited till last. I should have put the eyeball in there before I did the highlight. I could always pull that out, but I already cut a groove of where it goes, so I can't really pull it out without impacting the whole thing. But next time I won't put that highlight in until I had it, because I could add that at the end. All right, so I'm gonna glue this down. I think I see where it should go. I already fucked that up. It's not where the highlight's down. That one's up now. Son of a bitch. Um, I can move them around a little. All right, I'm just gonna keep going with it. I need to. Is this the other one? Yes, it is. You can see some of that super glue coming up over here. That white. All right, I guess I won't worry too much about the symmetry of the eyes because it'll just give a unique expression. And if it bothers me a lot, then I can just redo the fucking eyeball. All right, so hopefully now I can tell right away that this just feels big, so I'm going to have to trim it down and fit in there. And mainly just the sides here, the corners. Let's see, let's see if this fits. No, I'm gonna have to carve. I need to make this hollow spot a little bigger, or else I'm gonna be pushing everything around in there. Just a little bigger. I'm gonna actually cut a lot of this eye, this other eye. And then I'll take this here. That should fit now. Damn it, I need to cut one more. Still too tight. Top roof of it. And I feel like I could probably cut more of this eye off still. Okay, it's closer. Let's see. So with that, when I put the eyelash in, I can bring a little bit more symmetry to it. The highlights are messed up a little. I'll redo them. First, I'm gonna do the eyelash though. So the glue I'm using is just super glue. Works good. Um, Yeah, and no Enchanted Pumpkin Garden. Sorry about that. All right. All right. I'm gonna get this eyelash, and then probably delete. That'll be it for tonight. Cause then I'm gonna do those highlights absolutely last, just because that's such a small piece of material, and I want them to be fresh for the finished photos. All right. So that eyelash, how do I do it? So I took one of these eyelids that I made, and so early in the video I made these little eyelids, these little shells. So I take a piece of round potato, use my cutting board potato, put it on there, and then I'm going to create an eyelash. So when I did it on here, I purposely found one that had a thin wall on the inside part and then thick on the outside part. So I couldn't use this. Well, yeah, I could actually just flip it upside down. That would work, so it doesn't matter. All right, but I need to try to. It's a little too thin here. So should cut that one. Let me get another one off here. It's only too short. Hopefully this one's long enough. Okay, so I'm gonna glue the corner in first, just so tack it on the corner, and then try to get the rest. Shit's too much. Okay, I'm gonna this stuff. Freak. Super glue's gonna show on that. door that I had before. Let's wet this guy up a little. So tomorrow we'll put a mouth on him. Yeah, so he'll get a mouth tomorrow. And it'll come to life with the mouth. So, much easier to do the eyes the other way. I'm just scooping it out without these eyelids, but I wanted to play around with this approach to the eyelids, and over time I'll refine it even more, especially with things like with pumpkins where they're a little bit bigger. I'll be able to really play with the possibilities. But it should look like a fun cartoon potato when that mouth comes in. So that's it so far. I think I'm going to do the mouth tomorrow. We'll make a big old mouth, lots of fun teeth in there, with a tongue coming up here. So that's what we got for today. Or National Potato Day. Thank you for watching, guys and gals, and we'll continue this tomorrow. Good night. If I can figure out how to stop it.